At 7 o'clock, we'll call the regular council meeting to order. Would you please call a roll, ma'am?
Briggs.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
First item is the approval of the minutes of the March 11th, 2019 regular session meeting.
Move for approval. Second.
Briggs.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Next item is old business ordinance, second reading by title only, passage bill number 2019-21, an ordinance amending certain articles of division of the section, chapter 6, building and construction of the Mexico, Missouri Code. Mr. Slagle.
Yes, Your Honor. As council is aware that in February 25th work session, staff presented to council the significant changes between the current adopted 2006 codes and the proposed 2015 codes. At the March 11th, 2019 council meeting, council held a public hearing and the first reading on the proposed adoption of the new codes. As a total so far that I've received and staff has is we've received, I think it's a total of 4 verbal comments regarding the adoption and support. And then Council Member Nichols called in earlier and indicated he was not able to make tonight's meeting, but that he had received one comment that was opposed to any code updates. So at this point, staff would recommend, unless you have any additional questions, Council, from the first reading, that you proceed with the second reading by title only and passage of the attached ordinance.
Pleasure of the board.
When we approve this, just one thing, if there's something in particular that comes up at a later date, we can always amend this, right?
Yes, you
Is
can.
that correct? So, I mean, this isn't like forever in stone if
Right.
something comes up. Because I've heard some complaints, but it's just nothing in particular, just lots of stuff. And if something comes up and affects our city in a negative way, we can amend it. I just want to make sure that was possible.
Certainly is.
I move for second reading by title only, passage of bill number 2019-21.
Second.
Briggs.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Now you read the title,
read it.
please.
You have to read it.
Yeah, okay. Bill number 2019-21, an ordinance amending certain articles, divisions, and sections of Chapter 6, buildings and construction of the City Council Code, and adopting the 2015 International Building Code, 2015 International Residential Code, 2015 International Mechanical Code, 2015 International Existing Building Code, 2015 International Fire Code, 2015 International Plumbing Code, 2015 International Fuel Gas Code, 2015 International Property Maintenance Code, and 2014 National Electrical Code. I move for passage.
Second.
Briggs.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Next item under new business, a resolution, bill number 2019-22, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement with the Miss Missouri organization for requested funding for the Mexico tourism tax. Mr. Slagle.
Yes, Your Honor. The Tourism Commission has met and made a recommendation regarding funding, and we'll turn to Roger Haynes to present their recommendation.
Good evening, Council. The Mexico Tourism Commission met on Tuesday, March 19th, and as part of that meeting, they reviewed an application for funding presented by the Miss Missouri organization for the amount of $10,000 for advertising, and the Commission does recommend that $10,000 be approved. This will be for the 2019 scholarship pageant that will run from June 12th through the 15th, and they will be celebrating their 50th year in the City of Mexico. Staff recommends that Council concur with the Mexico Tourism Commission's recommendation and proceed with reading by title only and passage of the attached resolution. We do have with us this evening the reigning Miss Missouri, Caitlin Lewis, and longtime avid supporter of the Miss Missouri organization, Alice Leonati, and they would both like an opportunity to speak and address the Council.
Thank you. Yeah, well, long time does work. Not quite all 50 years, but close to it. I just would like to representing the Miss Missouri organization, thank the city and the Tourism Commission for your longstanding support. Truly, this endeavor would not have been here for 50 years if it was not a totally community event. A little bit about the history. 50 years ago, the Miss America organization granted a franchise, and at that time it was to the JCs. And many of the state organizations at the time were run by JC organizations. Back in that time, it was held at MMA, which it has been for all 50 years, but it was that time in the field house because there was no gymtorium that exists today. And the JCs came in every summer, constructed a stage from 50-gallon oil drums that they bolted plywood to make a stage and a runway, and probably had to have a lot of liquid to help them during those sweaty times. The pageant has grown through the years. We now are an incorporated organization. This year, we are looking forward to awarding over $80,000 to the 27 Miss contestants and the 2014 contestants that are going to be competing here. And a lot of that money is raised locally. A lot of it's also raised throughout the state. We will be hosting hundreds of extra people in Mexico during the week of June 9th through the 15th. The Miss contestants stay in the dorm, but the teams arrive on Monday and stay with their parents in hotels and parents all during the week. So they're going to be eating in our restaurants, shopping in our stores, keeping the hotels full. So this week has a really large economic impact on our community. This year, as I mentioned before, there are going to be 27 Miss contestants, 2014 contestants. There will also be an undetermined right now number of Show Me Princesses. These are young girls that are being mentored by the Miss and the teen contestants. Normally, each girl has a Show Me Princess, so hopefully 50 some odd of them. They will be in town with their parents, staying here, eating our, restaurants, shopping in our stores, all that sort of stuff. We have designed a logo that's going to be used in all of our publications and whatnot for the pageant. So that's something that we'll be using this year, and with things that we're going to be doing with the tourism that will be shown off. We're also having a kickoff for the anniversary starting May the 7th. We'll be hosting a business after hours at the Chamber. We invite any of you that can make it to please join us at that time. We have invited all of the former Miss Missouris to return. A lot of them are coming back. So again, that's additional people in our community. A lot of the formers are going to be performing in the show, as well as our one and only Miss America, Debbie Turner, who's going to be emceeing Saturday night. So I think it's going to be a great week. A lot of work still to be done. The Saturday night, June the 15th, there is going to be a reception prior to the show from 4 to 6 at the Oaks, and we certainly would like to invite you as the City Council to come as our guests and get to meet some of the former Miss Missouris and other volunteers that work. You'll be receiving more formal invitations when things get closer, but I just thought you might want to put that on your calendar, that on June the 15th from 4 to 6, you're welcome to join us for that reception. I'm going to introduce Caitlin here in just a second. One of the ways that we have been publicizing and letting more things know, Lake Profile Magazine every year, the March-April issue is focused on whoever our reigning Miss Missouri is. And this year, obviously, it's Caitlin. So it's a good article, and we'd like to just invite you to continue supporting us, continue thanking you for all that you have done in the past, and we'll let Caitlin say a few things unless any of you have any questions for me at this point. Okay. Caitlin.
I just just want to thank you all again for continuously supporting the Miss Missouri organization. As a young woman who's lived here for the past 9.5 months, I see firsthand that Mexico really does love everything that it's involved in, and I just really appreciate that you guys have loved and supported the Miss Missouri organization. So thank you all. I'd love to give you a copy of the Lake Ozark Profile magazine, and actually, fun fact, I just partnered with another magazine called the Missouri Magazine, so I'll be in their May edition. So hopefully you can get one of those too whenever I get it. I interview with them tomorrow. But can I approach to give these to you? Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you guys.
we'll get you talked. Yeah. Nice to meet you. Wait, we've met.
But thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Pleasure of the board.
I'll just say, like I say every year, it's a great organization. I think towns like Branson, Springfield, they would love to take this away from a small little town like us. So it's a small contribution to keep it here, in my opinion. So, and I appreciate all the hard work you guys put into it. I mean, the local people put into making this happen every year. So, sorry if I picked off.
Your pleasure.
Go ahead.
Okay, move for reading of Bill Number 2019-22, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement with the Miss Missouri organization for requested funding from the Mexico tourism tax.
I second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Bill Number 2019-22, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement with the Miss Missouri organization for requested funding from the Mexico tourism tax. I move for passage of Bill Number 2019-22.
Second.
Second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Next item, other business, staff report purchase of a CCTV camera for the wastewater department. Mr. Slagle.
Yes, Sharon, during the budgeting process, we budgeted for a replacement of our current camera, which is got some age on it and experiencing some malfunctions as we go as well. So to cover the bids that we received, we'll turn to Kenzie. Awesome.
Thank you. Yes, our current camera has done long and good duty. I don't know how many miles of pipe it's been through, but in some weeks it is in excess of 1.5 miles, 2 miles. And the connections, the cabling, and the camera, and the transporter portion of it have just worn to the point where we're spending a lot of time and money repairing it. So it was time to replace it. We did take bids. We got 6 vendors that gave us 7 different bids. The staff spent a good bit of time evaluating these cameras, having them out and demonstrated, looked at them, put them in a real sewer pipe, not just running around on the ground. And our decision is to go with the RS Technical brand from Elliott Equipment for $66,000.08. The budget is $75,000, so this is under budget. There was one camera that was less expensive. The references, when we checked on it, though, came back that it is just manufactured as a lighter weight, if you will, camera, not as heavily built, was not as reliable in everyday service. It's not that it would not necessarily be a good camera, perhaps for a smaller community that would only use it occasionally, but in the kind of service that we give a camera, we felt that it would not survive for us, and that was based on references from other communities who had used it. And so based on the references and based on the demonstrations and all, we're recommending the Elliott Equipment bid.
It's hard for me to believe that the bids can go from 42 to 112,000.
Some of that depends on how much of our existing equipment the vendor felt that he could utilize. We have a trailer that houses our camera equipment, and there's a computer set up for video recording and that sort of thing. And so compatibility with what we had and how much they felt could reuse. I believe that 112 actually included a brand new trailer as well. And so that was part of the reason that one was so high.
Charles, pleasure.
Make a motion that we buy a CCT camera from RS Technical in the amount of $66,008.
Second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Next item, staff report motion to adopt a public ADA compliance transition plan. Mr. Slagle.
Yes, Your Honor. During the work session, you heard about the transition plan, and to cover anything, other questions you may have, we'll turn to Kenzie Russell.
I'll just note that in the packet, the entire plan is also included, and if there are any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
Motion to approve.
Motion that we adopt a public ADA compliance transition plan.
I second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Next is payment of claims.
Make a motion to pay the bills?
Second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Next are comments from the council. We'll begin with you, Mr. Williams.
I don't have a whole lot to say today.
Mrs. Briggs.
Well, I've been over watching eagles. If you haven't had a chance, I'm sure they're going to fly away here soon. But I actually saw one catch a fish. That was my goal. But they were great. So over on Lakeview, I think they're probably on Teal Lake too. So
Dr. Shivers.
Nothing.
Nothing. Mr. Slagle.
Nothing this time, Your Honor.
I'll just say nothing too, so I won't keep you all night.
nothing in eagles.
At this time, we'll take public comments. If you'd like to make a public comment, come to the podium, please. State your name and address and try to hold your comments for 3 minutes.
You want to comment on
Okay. Seeing no public comments, I would like to make one other comment before we adjourn tonight about the capital improvement sales tax. On April 2nd, the citizens of Mexico are asked to vote on a half-cent sales tax. This is not a new sales tax. This is the renewal of existing sales tax, and so it doesn't increase your taxes in any way. This sales tax is designated to be used for construction and repair of streets and curbs and gutters and stormwater piping, bridges, drainage ditches and culverts, and all the things we've been talking about tonight that we need to keep fixed up. The City of Mexico maintains nearly 80 miles of roadway and 19 miles of stormwater. So there's a lot of roadways. So this half-cent sales tax is very important, and again, it is not a new tax. It's a renewal of a tax that we have now. Just required by law that we put it back to the voters again and get it reapproved. With that said, I move we adjourn.
Second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.